Hey guys, let's go ahead and get started. I hope everyone had a good weekend. And I've got a lot of super chats coming in. I'll get to everybody's super chat, and I like that you enter them before the live stream so I could have them pretty much ready to go. It makes the live stream go quicker, which is nice for other people that want to join later. And we'll go into your questions. We have a really good week coming up for the market. I think the big market moving event, as you know, coming up this week is, I believe, the Fed meeting. The Fed meeting for lowering interest rates. I think that's what is expected, and we'll see how the market, perceives and listens to their communication on Wednesday. So until Wednesday, I don't expect much action. Much action, right? It's going to be, kind of a boring market. There'll be a few things here and there, but most of the market's going to get going once the Fed news is out and interpreted. Unless there's some other black swan out there that decides to, take out the steal the thunder from the Fed here. So I've got a lot of super chats. I'm just going to go into them, and then I'll go into other comments, of course, that I always get. So I'm going to start at the top. This is Guy Forks. Guy Forks is talking about this miner. Okay, it looks like a silver and gold miner, and it's obviously coming off of a low in a series of ones and twos. You hear of your wave 3, right? You're in your wave 3 advance. As of right now, you're starting to see some bearish divergence here. You're starting to see a little bit here. So if we continue to see a bigger sell-off in 4, we'll create more divergence, and that will cause us to top. This cycle will top and then pull back, and this is what we're seeing across all gold and silver right now, is we're seeing 4s and 5s. Okay, we're seeing 4s and 5s. Now, we all know, if you're new to watching me, that the market moves up in 5 waves, right? Within a wave, within this wave, let's see here, like you have, like within wave 1, it subdivides into 5. If you were to zoom in on that, that would be 5 in 1, 5 in another here, and 3. Okay. You see how it subdivides into 5? Okay. So if you were trading the market and you were looking at the swings, and you counted this as 1, 2, you could also make a mistake potentially and you could do something like this, a 1, 2, misinterpret this as a 3, a 4, and a 5. Okay, right there, right? Let's just pretend we didn't know this part was going to happen, and we just looked at this part here. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right here at this peak, people would be freaking out. It's wave 5. It's and it may even have some bearish divergence between this peak and this peak. Even may not have raised divergence or started to. So what happens is people, they think they can outsmart the market, and they think they're like it's that easy, and we short that. And then what happens is you get an extension, right? And it blows up. And what happens is you get a little bit of an upside move. You get maybe another small pullback, and then you get 3 of 3, right? And then you short it at the worst possible moment in this wave, and wave 3 extends. And they can keep doing that for as long as and the market wants to keep buying the dip, and you eventually run out of money shorting it, or you blow up. So when I show this can keep extending. Okay, as of now, I'm showing a more conservative view, right? This whole cycle should end, and you'll get a bigger pullback. All right, and then this could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you get a bigger 3 of 3 push, right? And it's likely to do that since you haven't even taken out the wave 1 peak yet. Let's look at the weekly. Now the weekly is taking it out, so we may it's kind of 50-50 if that'll be another 1, 2, but it definitely would be a bigger pullback, and it would be a 4 and another 5. So this can happen. This can happen. The other possible path, and I'm only going to go through this once. This applies to everyone's super chat and question. The other possible path is wave 5 extends, and you erase divergence, and this becomes a 1-2, and you just keep going. All right, so that's kind of where we are with it. You'll have to decide what that means to you, and if you want to sell it or not. Always do what's best for you. It's obviously coming out of a major down correction. It's basing out. Typically, you're going to retrace back to the wave 4, which is $31. In the next several years, it's probably going to hit $31. So if we had a time machine and we could go in time and travel into time, by 2030, I'm almost certain it'll be at $31. But how to get there, it's never a straight line. It could be a straight line, but I don't think it is. But anyway, that's kind of where we are. So it's a new bull market is born. It's born, and you're really early. But as of right now, this is probably not a good time to chase it. But if you have a longer term view and you don't mind losing 50%, and you could buy more, you can buy more. So I'm just going to give that long explanation on this one, but this applies to everything else. Okay, guys, everything else applies to everything else, man. All right, the next one, Anonymous, Soundhound, and UEC. Okay, Soundhound. Soundhound, we had to buy for elite members here, went vertical. That's, sometimes that happens. And then we had a nasty flat. And we saw the day that ended, and then we kind of have been grinding slowly out, and now we need that fifth wave to confirm the low. And once we get that fifth wave, we could get another pullback down to 1371. Could get rejected here again at this resistance, and then I think that would be enough to get us out into the real 3 of 3 action. This chart only shows a 1-2. 1-2 1-2, which means if you thought that was the wave 3, you haven't seen anything yet. So there must be some really big news on the horizon for this stock to drive this up and be even more vertical than that move. It would probably come through here and just break out. So I'm not interested in, my thinking is I'm not trying to time the market here. Okay. If you happen to buy it down here, you really just kind of hold on. Now, the one thing is we only have 3, so we don't have 5. So if it's corrective, we should start to fill this, tomorrow even, start to fail. And then we could do a double correction on this wave 2, right? The double correction target would be right about where we entered at 1022, right? It would have to hold that low. It would be like a double bottom. If we break that low, then you have another 3 swing move, and then you're looking at testing this low, and you could be in even a bigger double correction. So it's almost at a do or die moment. Do or die. So one side will lose, and the other side will win. Right? One side's going to lose, the other side's going to win. And you'll just have to decide how you want to do it. But I'm just going to be going with this chart for now, and we'll see what happens this week. UEC also making a third wave, pulling back and forth, should make another high. But again, UEC is coming out of a consolidation pattern that's lasted for over almost 20 years. So this chart pattern, depending on where you draw the line, then this line, maybe here. We'll draw it here because you go through a majority of the wicks here. It has been consolidating since 2016. It's been almost 18 years in this pattern, and it's breaking out now. Again, like I said, do you think in 18 days it's going to be over? This move is got way more upside to go. So I am not interested in time in the market. Not at all. No way. But if you are looking to join the trend, you may have an opportunity soon. You have a 1-2. That 3 could be in, which would pull back a deeper 4, probably back down to 944, and then another 5, and then another sharp pullback before it's go time. This could even retest the breakout. which is probably likely, right? And then it's go time. That would be the ideal setup. But if you're trying to like sell it and I'm going to buy it back here, I think it's silly because it could just keep going. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that. But for right now, we're just kind of going with this label and we're just going with the flow. And again, elite members had buys here, one here, and we were watching it in the April correction. We didn't want to buy it too early and we waited for the confirmation of the low. We had 3 swings. Once we made 5, we bought the 3-wave pullback here and we haven't looked back. So that's how we've traded it in our elite group. And pretty much most people made a lot of money on this and will continue to do so. Okay. And we had been watching this even before my service started. We saw the breakout to higher highs here, but then the market rug pulled us in April. Here, the higher highs here, higher high, then they rug pulled us in a flat. But the higher high sequence made it clear this was coming. So we knew this was just, this was just caught up in a flat. The market was trying to slam it back down before they ramped it, and now it's essentially vertical. Okay, that's the next one. The next one after that is Hive. Hive has been playing out as according to plan. Again, we had this buy on our live stream and our elite members. And here again, I got asked this. So many people asked me about this. They were so worried. And I was like, don't worry, it's going to be okay because we're showing 5 up. It seems like it's very bullish, and that's been the right strategy. Now people are like, well, we want to time it. Well, this isn't a call service. I can't time this. I don't know when we're going to hit this box. It could be this week for all I know. It could be end of the year. I just don't know. But I do know, like I mentioned, the personality of Hive is it tends to go vertical when it gets going. So it's probably going to happen sooner than you think it would. So again, if you're trying to time the market, you're going to be very disappointed in your skills. Okay, so this is the count. We're in 3 of 3. We're in there's not even a dip. So we're still in 3 of 3. I can't even say it's finished. So the question is, Hive made 5 up, ABC correction now extending. Yeah, this target is in play. It's in play. And this you would think this 3 is coming to an end soon. Not soon, and then you'll get something like this. Now we could finish the cycle like this, right? And this would be 1, right? And then you'll have another pullback down to wherever these wave 4s are, which we haven't even had yet. And then you get the big move. So that's, if you want my idea, this is kind of what I'm thinking for now. Something like this. Okay. I think we'll go with this for now. Something like that. So I think this is it. To me, it looks like you have 5 up, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and a 3 of 3. Doesn't look corrective because it's 5 swings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Corrective is always 3 swings. So the number of swings isn't going to work. Okay, so it won't work. So it's a bullish move. The question is, what's the count? Is it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Well, obviously divergence is erased, so it's not that. So it's this. There's the only other explanation I can get. This is the count, and it's behaved exactly how we expected it, which reinforces that we are on the right side of the trade because it's not giving us surprises to the downside. Next area of resistance is right around 450. That's probably where you're going to see where it tops out here. It's probably going to top out here and probably pull back. But this pullback should be bought, unlike these other ones. And then that should get us through out of this congestion. And then the next area of resistance is really right in this area, which is our target, our final target. And then anything beyond that is bonus time. All right, pretty simple stuff. Nothing complicated here. Okay, next is Solana. So Solana, we were talking about Solana on our last live stream, and we were saying that, hey, do not try to time the market on this because wave 5 could extend, and I gave you all the reasons why and wave 5 extended. But now wave 5 could be coming to an end soon. And then that pullback would bring us back down to the wave 4 low, which is pretty far. It's far, right? This is all the way down to 157. So that would be a pretty big correction in crypto for that to happen. So we need to look at the divergences. Yeah, let's look at them one more time. We almost took this peak out. Taking that peak out would make it a 1-2, 1-2. That means unlikely to go down that deep. Daily cycle, though, has divergence. And then the 45-minute has a lot of divergence. So this looks like a 5 of 5 right? As of now, a 5 of 5 here. So, and you do have the prior all-time high coming up on that. So you just got to be careful. Do I want to time the market? I still don't want to try to time the market because, again, we could just go back. We may not go this deep. What if we only go back to 200, right? Because if this cycle does correct and we are finishing a 5, we're finishing this 5, the next move higher is essentially going to be vertical out of this. You're going to miss the move. Okay, so you can't, it's too late to time you can't time the market in a 1-2, 1-2 setup, right? You're in a 1-2, you're in a 1-2, 1-2 setup in a cup and handle where the handle's ready to break out. There's no, I can't emphasize this enough. There's no reason to try to time the market on these crypto stocks. You had to buy them early and hold, and that's what I've been trying to pound the table on. Buy them early and hold. We had this here, and we had this buy here. I know the box isn't shown, but I mentioned this even on my videos. And now look at where we are. Look at where we are. And I told you, I told everyone last weekend not to worry, just kind of let's see what happens. And now it's pushing higher. And if we erase divergence, if Bitcoin can surprise us and come out of this consolidation here, then Solana is likely to erase divergence, and it may even break all-time highs. All right? That's where we are with crypto, okay? But the decision has not been made by the market. It's jammed up in the middle. Bitcoin's jammed up in the middle area. It can go either way. It can go either way right now. So I think we probably would have our decision by the morning tomorrow. There's no, we're going to have a move by the morning, one way or the other, I think. Okay. So I think there is a pullback. So Anonymous, your question, I think if we could make one more marginal high and pull back, it may be quite significantly. So you need to be aware of that. I don't know your trading and how you're doing it. Listen to what I said, but do what's best for you. I got this big super chat from Ryan. I really appreciate it. That big super chat. And I'll go through these and let's take a look. Open. Now, Open was the pump stock. Now, their CEO came on TV, right? And he basically said he's going to fire 80% of the workforce. Imagine if you were working at that company and heard what he said. Your productivity is going to go to the shitter, right? You're not going to do nothing. So that was an inexperienced CEO, like bungling the communication, and even CNBC was shocked he was saying such things. So he basically crippled his own company. So they're going to have to go in now and clean house before sabotage and all sorts of shit starts happening there. But that's a fundamental view, right? And fundamentally too, by the way, guys, my MBA is focused in real estate analysis and finance, and what these guys are trying to do is something that every company dreams of, is the caravana of home ownership, to be able to go in and flip, sell your house like you traded in a car. The problem is property law and real estate law are two completely different animals, and that means you have to. The process is so much slower. You can't hold a lot of inventory. I don't know if this business model is even viable. I'll be honest. Everyone tries and dreams of what they're trying to do. I think perhaps in a super duper bull market where prices are just appreciating like it was in 2004 and 5, I think this could work. But outside of that, I think fundamentally it's going to have a big struggle. But it is a nice pump stock. If played out exactly where we wanted, it basically hit our target. It's rejecting. So the next area for the next decision is this box here, more than likely. If that's a connector wave right here, we could see it come back to fill this gap. Right, I'll even draw it to fill this gap. And this is $7.41, $7. So what's going to happen here is a couple things are going to happen. Either it's going to bounce and make a fifth wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's going to pull back again, somewhere down here, and then it's going to get even more crazy, 20 bucks or higher. So it's going to either do something like that, or it's going to try to react here, fail, and have an epic meltdown. Full round trip. The pump is over. Pump and dump. So the odds are you're going to get a reaction out of this box. Right? This is the middle area, and I don't recommend trading it. But do what's best for you. I would be, if I was forced to trade it and had a gun to my head, I'm forced to trade it, I would be going long in this box, building a position, and then seeing what reaction I get, and then knowing you have two paths that can take you lower, even if you break this high. The other path that can take you higher from here would not be impulsive, and that would be it would be more of a corrective move in Y, but we would need to see the RSI down here to know if that's the case. So it's too early to say if that scenario can happen. So we can ask me again if we sell off. I think it's likely we're going to sell off into this box, okay? But I wouldn't short it. I wouldn't short, just like I kept telling people not to short it, but we're looking for a setup. So this is the setup. This box is the setup. So you can start to add at 734 and just kind of build your position in here. I think you'll get a reaction on this box. I think you'll get a reaction. Now, if for some reason we just come up, we don't react, we just come up like this, well, then we're making the 5, and then we'll probably pull back, and that changes the bigger picture, right? So that's also a possibility as well. But I think once we break this low, it opens up the door to this downside. All right, so that's open. So that's open, okay? And we were covering it back here, and I remember on our live stream, they're there. You can save and watch them. I said, yep, the low is in. It's probably likely to go into an uptrend, and we had the WXY. So if you watched me, you could have bought it here, and if you had the conviction, held it and made a lot of money. Now, live person looks like it's in danger of that final push lower into our box. We've had this box for weeks and weeks, and the box is at 77 cents, 78 cents, and then happy time, right? Because it shows 5 waves up. So this should react. This should react and come out of this for another swing higher at least. Okay, we should get another swing higher. So that's what we're looking for. And then it should be good. But when we look at this overall correction, we're still in the correction. So the correction isn't over. If you look at the RSI, we're still in the channel, right? The downtrend, see, we're still in the downtrend. And then even in the leg, the Y leg, we're still in the Y legs. You see? So we're still in the downtrend. See, looks can be deceiving, right? That bounce looks like a lot of people would say, oh, that's in. It's probably not in yet. This is probably the connector wave, and then this is the final move coming. I don't think this wave is in. I don't think it's in yet. I think it's going to make this move down. If for some reason I'm wrong and this wave is in, right, I would be careful for a bigger double correction later. But if you can come back and take out $1.02, then perhaps the cycle, at least the downtrend cycle, should probably end by that point, and then we can look at it and reevaluate it. I just still think this box is probably where we're going, okay? SPHW is in our box, vertical reaction, and now it's back testing, and we need to hold 281. Okay, for the bullish case to stay supported. If not, we'll have a double correction. We'll have a double correction, and the next target would be somewhere around the $1.75. So if you bought it here, you bought it here at 257. So our entry was 267. So you put your stop at 257 and let the market decide, or you can move your stop up to 280, and you have a zero risk position. Basically, of how you're zero risk. Now, there's always gap down risk, but that's part of trading the market. You have to just understand that there's always gap down risk. But we'll go with discount for now. Okay, we're going to go with discount for now, and there's no reason to change it. But I will mention you only have 3 waves up. So if this move cannot happen and it's corrective, we'll come back down to that target I mentioned. It could bounce again, but then it can also come and break these lows, and then it's a go to zero stock. So it's got to really do something here. If it were to double correct, it's likely that these lows are going to break again. I would personally I wouldn't want to trade it anymore. I would just dump this chart and just find something else to trade. I don't know if you work here or you know someone or there's some attachment to it, but if you're attached to it, I think breaking these lows would really, you'll probably get another reaction down here, but it's likely to go. It's likely coming down to the lows. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. If this is going to go higher, it needs to do it here. It needs to do it here. GoPro breaking out of the major downtrend. I have it in a 5th wave here, and we should make one more high and then have a big pullback. It looks like to me. We're probably in this count. I'm going to go with this count for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we haven't taken that high out. So we'll probably do something like 1, 2, something like that is what I'm thinking. And then another big pullback. And then go time out. So that's the most likely path. But again, 5 can easily erase divergence. So I do think you could get a pullback in 2 here. And that might be an opportunity to try to play this on the long side in this cup and handle continuation pattern that it may develop. And you may only get a small high, but if you get the extension, you nailed a big trade. And remember, it's coming out of a downtrend that's gone on since, good Lord, it's been going on since I've ever looked at this stock. All the way since 2014. So you have a cycle from 2014 coming to an end, okay, on the monthly with no divergence, with massive reaction higher. Why did everyone get so bullish on it? I don't know. I don't follow the stock. Maybe they invented a product. Maybe they think, it could do something. I don't know. But something has investors really excited finally. So there it is. We'll go with this for now, but I can't, there could be an extension. Jumia is the same thing. It's coming out of a low, but this one made a lower low sequence, a lower low. So this will just probably whipsaw up as long as we stay above this low. We should whipsaw up maybe to $18 or so, and then the pump will be over and it should be back to go to zero. That's my guess. So this is a tradable stock on the long side for a while. It looks like, based on this count, the move can end at any moment. Here, maybe any second. And then 2 is likely to come back down to $6. Again, you're just seeing a lot of divergence. Look at all that bearish divergence. This cycle is going to probably reset the 4-hour and the daily, and that's going to pull back Jumia in this too. And thanks again. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. Yeah, everybody has a style, and mine's evolved over the years. I'm using this. This is my method now, and every once in a while I'll change things based on, trends in the market. Like in the last several years, we're seeing a lot more flats, expanded flats. So we have to be a little more thoughtful of those and anticipate those a little bit more. And the other is we're seeing a lot of truncations in wave 3. If you're going into a wave 3, you're not getting that equal distance. So we're seeing some things. So we have to adapt our system based on not what we used to think, but what's the market doing now, because that's what matters the most. So I adapt it too. We have to. It's not a religion. Elliott Wave is not a religion. It's not scripture. It's not like this holy document that's never allowed to change. And also, you have to be able to be flexible and have intellectual honesty and be humble as a trader. If you're not, and again, I call them chess player traders, they don't usually make a lot of money in the market. You don't see guys that have these high IQs and stuff, billionaires walking around. You know, you don't really see that. They're not trading the market, because they would just write a computer program and take all the money from everyone if it was how it worked. It doesn't work like that. So, yeah, do you think Bitcoin will peak in Q4? Given we'll come back to that if I have time. Sorry, forgot to pay. Okay, that's not a big deal. Please check the divergence. Is the bottom in or more downside? I think the problem with UEC is it seems like more downside would be needed in this 4. It's still not guaranteed. We're still in the 4-hour cycle. We're still in this cycle, so it can extend. So it's not guaranteed. So even though I have the 5 over, this could be just 2 of 5 here, right? It could just do this and keep going. So again, I don't recommend time in the market. I can't emphasize that enough, but it could do that. In this trades in the URA ETF, the URA ETF count is more bullish. It's not showing a 5, it's showing potentially a breakout. So if that's the case, you would think this is likely to extend and then a risk divergence, but I'm just showing a more conservative view. But you'll have to decide how you want to trade this. Again, you have an 18-year consolidation. It's not going to end in 6 weeks. It's going to end in 6 years, probably. It's going to be years of gains, years of upside. You understand what I'm saying? In years, not weeks, not days. So it's just, but you guys got to decide how you want to trade it. Okay, BTDR. Let's go to BTDR. All right, we're coming out. I'm labeling this as like a B, a triangle B, which means we should get another pop higher. So I'm looking for something like this, real erratic, real choppy, but grinding higher, eventually getting a Y wave out, maybe 32, 34 in the future. And we are about to make, I think, did we make a higher high already? We're about to make the higher high, confirming the next leg higher is in progress, which should get us to 22. So again, we're going to go with this for now. This B wave could morph into a lot of different things. In fact, I was thinking of putting the B here. I'm going to put it there for now. But I think it's more upside. And we're just kind of moving like in this erratic 3-wave pattern, right? And then what will happen here, you'll get another 3 waves. So it's just moving in 3 waves, right? It's just going to keep kind of doing that. And then the next one is TMC. So TMC, I think that B is finished here. And what ended up happening is we had 3 up, 3 down, and 3 up here. Now that could have been Y. Right, that could have been Y, but then it made a 4 and a 5. So what it's going to do is Y is extending. So Y is going to extend in an ABC. So I really think you're going to get another swing higher. Y is extending. And it looks like to me the cycle's over. This cycle. So it looks like you're in a new uptrend. As long as you're above this low at 439. And it should continue higher. Now, this little connector could produce opportunity to buy the dip if it's a connector here. It may take a dip back down to 469, and that would be buyable against this low for a very low risk, high reward trade setup, right? You'd only be risking 15 cents to make, to double your money. I think it's almost like a no-brainer. Like, give it a shot. Give it a shot and see if that double correction happens. If not, the 2's in. It's going to break out this week. All right, thanks again for that super chat there, and just kind of taking a look at everything. Thanks again for all the super chats, guys. So SOLT. I don't think, if you want my honest opinion, again, this is what I really think is going to happen with Bitcoin. I think it's going higher, guys. I don't think it's going to make the big double correction. But if that's the case, see, we never even got this pullback here, right? Remember Solana SOLT just made the fifth wave extend it, so this is already pushing up in the Y wave. So the upside is there. We're already in the next leg higher in the levered ETF. So that'll get us somewhere around, the target would be somewhere around $49, somewhere in the 40s, somewhere in this box. So we're likely to head here before the next, sellers could emerge to start to slow the advance down. So now Y never goes up in a straight line like W didn't, so we should see a pullback. We should see a pullback. And it probably do something like this. And again, this pullback, something like that. So if Solana's in that fifth wave, that's the pullback is imminent in this X to be bought for Y. If there is no pullback, then C is just going to rip higher. So you'll have to decide again. As everyone that's following me, this is not just for Anonymous, this is for everybody listening. For crypto, is not advised to time the market. I can't emphasize this enough. We could be going into a 3 of 3 in Bitcoin. The altcoins could be ready to break out. I can't emphasize this enough, how foolish it could be to sell your crypto at this point unless you personally have a strategy that wants, you know what you're doing. I can't stress to you enough where we are in the cycle. Okay. And I'm not the only one that believes this. Like there's a guy I follow that's been trading crypto since the beginning. He's got must be millions and millions of dollars of Bitcoin. You go to Bob Lucas's webpage. He doesn't use Elliott waves. He doesn't use any of this shit. He's a trader, professional his whole life. He's saying the same thing about where we are in the cycle. I'm seeing it in the Elliott wave count. It's aligning up. So I know you guys keep asking me about crypto, but I can't stress to you enough how foolish it could be to time the market right here, right now. But again, unless you have a strategy and you know what you intend to, whatever you're trying to do, maybe you have too much exposure or something else or whatever, you need the money for something else, fine. But crypto, I'll go back to this, guys, for crypto. This is another chart I posted a long time ago, if I can find it here. Total 3. This is your altcoins. What did I show you guys was going to happen here, okay? This is a cup and handle, right? We made a higher high. We already broke this high, and we're about to break this high. We're about to break out of this. This has to be bullish for the altcoins, right? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were looking for a bigger pullback. We didn't get it. And in fact, it's going higher. Now, could it be a flat on this peak? Maybe. That's the last chance. It would have to start. It cannot come back and take out this peak right here. So that would be the Bitcoin making that double correction. Like I said, I don't think that can happen, but it's still a possibility. So if Bitcoin's going to make a double correction, right, the total market cap will probably do something like this. But regardless of what happens here, it's likely to come out of this pattern like that. But I suspect it's already coming out, and everyone's oblivious to the fact that that's already happening. And that was all the dip you got. Now, some people may say, well, that's just 5 extending. Even if that's the case, even if this is 5 extending, we're still breaking to these higher targets. The higher targets is right here, 3 trillion. So this is why you don't want to give up your position. Look at this. There's nothing bearish about this chart, guys. I mean, you all know that. There's nothing bearish about this chart. So, all right, enough of that. So let's see. Got a few people join my service. I really appreciate that. I think you'll benefit. I think the people who join my service that end up leaving and getting mad, watch my video about I put a video about, about my system. I think it's important to listen to what I'm saying. If it doesn't fit with your way of trading or your mental, philosophy around it, you won't like me. And I've actually encouraged people to unsubscribe. And by doing that, I think I've blown out a lot of the idiots that have been harassing me finally. And you can listen to that. Okay, BMA. BMA. We were covering this, I remember. Argentina. Yeah, Argentina was going through some austerity measures. But look, what do you know? It's hitting a box. Look at that. Look at that. At the wave 4 low. Looks like Argentina is about to come back to life, man. So it looks like it's about to be a buy on a 1-2-1-2 setup. So I mean, maybe it's a 3-4, but that's too deep to be a 4. Unless it's some kind of leading diagonal. I think we'll go with this count for now, but I think this is the box. It's about to enter the box. So can BME hit 30 or 40? I think that's the trend. Let's see. Let's get the trend line here. Let's see if I can draw this trend line. It would have to tap the trend line. It is possible. The RSI, though, on the weekly, it's pretty much bottomed out. I don't know. I wouldn't count on it. If I was trading it, I would definitely be taking a position right here. And then in my mind, well, if it goes lower, I can just add more. But you're more likely gonna get a reaction on the weekly cycle or even monthly cycle out of this. Then after that, who knows, right? You should get a reaction, and then after that, it's either out or it's going to double correct, and then this pretty much go to zero, right? There's no room. You have to back into the low. So I think this is a safe area. So that's BMA, and then GGAL is probably in the same situation. Almost looks like it's in a box. It is in a box, so it's buyable. So you can buy that right now. Well, let's look at the RSI. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at that. It doesn't get any better than that. Let's look at this mess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could it be that? We have to go to the monthly. I don't think so. We may even have to go to a quarterly chart. No. So we'll call it it's a 1-2-1-2 setup. So I'm gonna call it this for now. 1, 2, right? 1, 2, right? And then a 1, 2. And then hopefully you come out. So it looks like Argentina is going to do something people are really happy about soon. Okay, and then can it hit 20 or 18? Again, I don't know. Let's see, $20. That's pretty deep. So you have a lot of support right around here. Again, I'll just take the cluster of the wicks. That's probably as low as I can see it, and that is 1752. I don't know how it gets down there unless it's too oversold. I don't think it gets down there. I think it's going to find support right here on this area of this right here. You see, right around here, right around there, and that is 28 or so. Something like that. It's probably going to bounce around there. I don't see it going down there, but I can be wrong. Do what's best for you. All right, Chipotle. I've kept everyone out of this fallen knife, this trap. We've had this box for maybe over a year or two, and I think we're about to hit it. So this is our box for long-term investors, 34.15. So we're almost there. Now let's take another look at it on a higher time frame. and just give you guys the complete picture of where we are. I believe it's the grand supercycle correction of Chipotle. So let's take a look at where we are again. We'll have to go to like a higher time frame. So looking at it, it appears to be, you see these cluster of peaks are not above these peaks. So we're in a 1-2-1-2. So it's not the grand supercycle, it's supercycle degree, but it's definitely a wave 2. And we're correcting the cycle from 2018. That's the cycles being corrected right now. And that we could go deeper into the box to 2645. So I think you got to be careful too. You have to be careful too. We're gonna have to that one could go deeper in the box. Let's take a look at this connector one more time. Yeah, see, we made that our connector. That peak, I think we made this peak. Let me just double check everything. Or did we make the way it's labeled? No, we made that our connector. Yeah, that makes more sense. So yeah, I think it's gonna, you see how it bounced and failed, but we haven't even had the bounce yet. So we're gonna get a bounce and a failure more than likely. So this should do something like A should be finishing up, get a big B and another C. That's what I think we'll get, something like that. The food stocks are out of favor right now, as you can see. There's food, there's inflation, they're battling. You know, beef inflation, all this inflation soon, wheat and soybeans. They don't know it yet, but that's coming. And sugar, that's going to be a problem for their future. They don't know, but beef is already. And then they have the GLP-1s. No one's really eating there. And they have their quality sucks now. I mean, the bowls here are so small. Like I go there and I barely get anything in my bowl. You know, and I'm like, why did I wait? Why do I even go here? Like, why was I stupid and go here again? Like, so I'm like, at some point people just stop going. And I think that's what's happening. I think even the devout, clients they had are now starting to give up because they're like, you know what? Yeah, it's a waste of money. Like there are people that I tell, oh, my body's sculpted on Chipotle. I eat there every day for dinner. They're even like, yeah, maybe I'll go somewhere else. I'll go to Cava now or something. So I think they're losing people. They cut back. They shrinkflated their product, and I think that paid the price. And then also the commodities aren't helping, and the GLP-1s aren't either. So it's a perfect storm, and that's what this is showing us. But like all things good, all things will come to an end. I think this will recover. I'm not sure why it would. Maybe inflation, those ingredients start going down in price. Maybe they change their menu. Maybe they get bought out and they're gone. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they just start going back to the way they used to be. I don't know. But this is, if I was trading at this area right here at 27, that's the real ideal buy right there. And then Papa John's hit our box to the penny and reacted. So this correction's over. Okay, this one's over, and this one's been really stuck. And we've had this box for years on my channel, because the connector happened in 23. We finally hit the box. I mean, people were asking me about Papa John's like every other month, and I kept saying the same thing. And we finally hit the box, and now the correction's over. So now we should be getting ready to break out into the new bull market. Okay. All right. And then of course the first wave off the low, you always get a massive pullback because typically the market will test your conviction to hold it. So expect a big pullback, and then you can really grind out. That's usually what we see. V bottoms are rare, but I would be looking for something like this. Now, if this too double corrects on us, I don't think it will, but if it were to do that, right, you can try to buy the dip. Then you have a second chance entry at 34.90 if you missed the move. But if anyone's following me, you wouldn't have. You had the box here. I mean, we haven't changed. This chart's been like this for years. And it hit, and now we're breaking out. And I'm telling you, why? I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe they've changed things. I don't eat there. I don't eat pizza a lot. I mean, Maybe I think this was just too beat down. They had other issues going on with the company. They had their CEO issues and stuff. I think they had other problems, and I think that those are corrected. You know, and it's probably they're probably trying a way to solve them. So I don't know, but that's the chart. As obviously the downtrend's over, right? The downtrend's over, and you're about to break out. Okay. All right. The next super chat here is GME. We cover this in our pro group. Basically languishing in the box and finally breaking out on earnings. Finally. So everyone's profitable finally in this. Now we want to see continuation higher. So we need to see this fifth wave, and then we could top and then pull back again, right, before a bigger move. And that's what we expect. Now, we can accelerate higher. I think it's tied to Bitcoin. I think if Bitcoin goes into its 3 of 3, GME is going to break out of this massive triangle consolidation that's been happening since for over a year or so, year and a half. It's going to come out of this, and it's likely to come back up to this top of this peak faster than you can find the buy button with halts and everything. So that's why I'm like, if you believe in that, you need to buy it now and hold it. I think if it's going to try to double correct and crash it down, there wasn't any more sellers left, and that's what's proven. So they need to trap more buyers, and they'll do that by probably running it back up to 30. So my guess is if I was going to try to run this and drop this back down into 2 to double correct it, I would run it back up to 30 and then crash it. So I still think it's okay, but I think when it gets up to like 30, then I think you're either going to get the breakout or you're going to get a crash, and it's going to be back in 2. That's just my thoughts on it. But I think it's a play on Bitcoin now, honestly, because they have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Ring Central coming out of this base off of a massive downtrend, and that is off of a massive move from the COVID pump. 5 waves down in a flat correction, a nasty one, and now we're trying to come out of the low. We see 5 waves up, 3 waves down. We made a higher high. There's a lot of ways to label this. Too many ways, which is why I don't have it labeled. I was going with something like this. Okay. Right, and then maybe we're in a flat here and we come back down to 28.23. It's possible. Okay. The other count is it's a 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So I'd rather just leave it unlabeled. Okay, so that's something you can decide to do if you want to, but there's an extra swing, right? You have 5, a connector, 1 2 3 4 5. So if it was corrective, we wouldn't have taken the high out. So now you have 6 7. So you have it's likely no matter what happens here to go higher. And if we're basing out of a major downturn, we should see more upside. ARE is the REIT hitting a box and starting to break out. I do think the IYR and REITs are going to come back, perhaps because interest rates are going to start to fall a little bit in the short term. We have a nice 3-wave move. We have the buy. It's coming out of a major correction. It's in the first innings of a major move off the lows. This is real estate REITs, okay? When is the last time those have been bullish? Never. They haven't been bullish since 2021. So these are beat down things. These are so beat down. So maybe you get something like this, or you get another one too. Now, could it be corrective? It's possible. Unlikely, but it's possible. I think it's my guess is it's still in 3. You'll get a small pullback and it should continue higher. Okay. IONQ hit our box, elite members. We were fighting the market makers on this. Had buys here, got a reaction, buy here, reaction, reaction. And then we said, okay, so this is the pattern. And then we were able to find this box. And we literally got the low at the exact low. Literally at the penny for people who took that trade. And it's gone vertical ever since in the Y. We've always had the Y. We always knew it would resolve higher. We always had this chart. We just didn't know how it would, the middle area. So we were kind of fighting through it, but there was the low. So now where are we in, right? So now we're in Y, right? So now it's like the other chart. You have an A, a B, and now you're in C, and you're in 3 of C. Where could all this end? So we're just taking out this high. We're likely to see the prices go somewhere around, thinking $80 is probably the right target. This box here, somewhere in this box around $80, right? So this Y leg could also be tricky and have 3 swings in itself, which is likely to do something like that. Pretty simple stuff. Okay. All right, biotech. For me, biotech is, could see a pullback soon, and that would be buying opportunities. But biotech looks okay right now. There's a few biotech stocks that look like they need a lot more downside, and a few others that don't. It's kind of a mixed bag. But I'd like to buy those. All right, Bama, any thoughts on bonds? I'm considering selling some to buy stocks. Also, I strongly recommend. Oh, thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, I can't give financial advice. I can't tell you what to buy or sell. Bonds is in the middle area. I get a lot of questions on bonds. Like I said, traders love to trade the middle area because it's fascinating to trade that, because you want to see a trend continue, or you're looking for the trend revert. But it's in Chop City. Bonds is in Chop City. Okay, there's a reason why I never cover them in my members, because I don't want them seduced by the middle area of bonds, because it's too many counts, too many. So I have this count right now. Well, let's go to the 10-year. All right, 10-year. So this is my count right now. Okay, so if this is the count, you would be thrilled to sell bonds, right? But we're starting to see signs that maybe we're not going to get this whipsaw, and we're just going to get the meltdown into the box here. So if we break 3851 on the 10-year, we're going to likely head to this box and then bottom into here. And then you wouldn't really want to sell bonds. But then again, what would benefit from lower rates? Growth, Russell index, stuff like that. So this is kind of, for me, like, okay, melt up, melt down. It's too many possibilities. So, like, honestly, if I was trading bonds here, I would be looking at the bigger picture. Bigger picture says we have another swing higher coming because we have 5 off the low. Okay, we have 5 off the low. We have another swing coming. And I think the 30-year broke the high as well. Okay, let's go back to the 30-year. Yeah, did we break this high? We almost did. I think we almost did in W. Yeah, we almost did. We quite didn't. As you see, it's kind of like, so, and it's right on the trend line. So here's the thing with bonds. Bonds is in the middle area. It's going to resolve higher in the future. So if you sell bonds here, and then they do this, you have to understand, like, well, okay, that sucks, but in 5 years, I'm going to be pretty happy I sold them. And because if I sold bonds and bought stocks on that, I'll be happy, right? Right, because stocks would probably do better than bonds, even though bonds are going up. And then you get to avoid this. The thing is if you sell bonds to buy stocks and you get this, yeah, you're happy you sold bonds, you're not losing money, but then stocks are probably going to go down. A lot of them, not all of them, right? So unfortunately, there's no good strategy. I personally am just staying away from bonds altogether. I'm like, look, we're in the middle area. It's unpredictable. I know it's probably going to resolve higher in the future. I don't know when. Hell, I could do it now for all I know. So I'd rather just avoid all that mess, the middle area. I'm just going to avoid all this. Now, if I were to wake up one day and it's in my box, maybe I'll short bonds. Maybe I'll take that trade and short bonds and go into a short bond ETF, right? Or hell, maybe I'll speculate and buy the TLT if it spikes up here. But in this area, I'm not really doing anything with my bonds. So that's how I look at bonds, guys, and that's why I'm not covering it. It's in the middle area, and it's tricky, it's erratic, and I think it could really trip you up, and it's probably tripping up a lot of professional investors that try to use these in chess play to market and correlate bonds to other instruments. When you really look at it, aren't that correlated sometimes, because a lot of people like, well, if rates go down, it's risk off. Well, we've seen that sometimes, and we've seen that risk on actually. So it's not one for one. So that's why you guys just trade it on its own. Okay, we'll see what Paul wants to do. All right, BCH. I don't know if you mean Bitcoin Cash or not. If it's Bitcoin Cash coming out of a nice base, yes, I would agree. And that would take you to 1600 probably pretty quickly. It's faster than even that went up when that breaks out. Now, if you're not talking about Bitcoin Cash, and again, I don't know what your there's a stock called BCH. It doesn't look like it's coming out of a base, so I don't think you're talking about this. But if you are, this also looks pretty good. Some kind of chilly bank, but it's topping. All right. Mortgage, 30-year mortgages, again, middle area, and I tried to draw what I think could happen with mortgages. So we have this three-wave move down, only 3 up, 3 down. Indecisive. So I think we could react here, go higher, and just like my arrows show, you're either going to you can make another bigger 3-swing move, come down to the box at 534, or we could just react a little bit, come down to the box at 534, and then the next leg higher in mortgages starts. Now, could this too be done here? Only if this turns out to be a flat, but we don't have enough data yet. If we see a little bit of a bounce and another low, if we see 5 waves, then I would definitely be more concerned, and we would label this as like a 1, 2, and we're out. So we don't have that. Stocks like Zillow and others show more upsides probably likely. So I think we're going to get, I think rates will double correct. So I think rates are going to double correct down to this box. This is the kind of the trend line area too. And it probably is going to tag this trend line again. That's my guess. So I think this is the area, and then this is also another wave 4 area. So there's a lot of confluence here at 5.2, 5.1. But this, how it plays out, is kind of like this. So again, it's the middle area. It's choppy. It's unpredictable, right? But the future is going to be a tragedy for investors and buyers. You thought this was bad? Wait till you see this. Wait till you see 10, 11% mortgage rates. That's coming. I mean, I hate to say it, it's coming. But I think that comes after Trump leaves office, right? I think when all these things, bad things happen, that's when it all comes, these issues have to get resolved, the national debt. Don't they say Social Security is insolvent in the 2030s? Last I checked, we're only 5 years away from the 2030s seems so far away, but now it's actually kind of close. Like the market's going to start pricing in debt default, guys. They're gonna, because the mathematics just don't work anymore. The mathematics just don't work, so the market's going to start to price in. The market's going to start to price in default risk if the United States doesn't pursue an austerity path that we see in other countries, which there's no political appetite to do anything like that. So that's what's going to happen on the long end of the curve. The only other way around that is monetization of the debt, where the Federal Reserve steps in and they basically buy the back end of the curve. They buy it. They basically monetize it for the United States, and then you get you get more of a hyperinflationary outcome. And so I don't know which path are we going to get. So we'll find out. But that movie is going to come to an end in probably the next 5 to 6 years. Okay, so you're going to understand that. As a long-term investor, you got to understand that dynamic. But right now we're in the middle area. This is the last fight. And then the fight's going to be lost. Whatever's going to happen is going to be lost. Then when we hit this third wave, then either they'll fix the problem for good. It will be in a big, just like your great grandfather had, could buy a fixed income, the best dip buy and fixed incomes you ever have in your life. Put all your stack in bonds for decades of decline in rates, going below this level eventually, or you get another 5 and then you do this all over again and it goes even higher, which would be unthinkable, right? Unthinkable stuff. But the Elliott wave chart says 5 up, you need another swing higher before the move can resume and go back and break the lows. This little leg right here killed it. So whatever happened in February 23 to October, whatever the government was doing back in 23, I don't remember exactly, but whatever they did, they screwed up. This screwed it up. Whatever happened screwed it all up. They had a chance, so I don't know if they passed some kind of spending bill during that time, but whatever passed during that period broke the system. It broke the system. So we can go back in history and figure that out. ASTS is looking almost in a target area. So ASTS is like one swing away from hitting a box. So we have been watching it. We have a 1-2. Okay. A 1-2 here. And looking at this, let me see. Do I have it moving in 3? Let me just take another look at it. Make sure. Don't have it mislabeled. Sometimes my chart moves around. Yeah, it moved around on me. So there's 2's here. 2's here. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's overlap in waves. It could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. It could be this. Could it be corrective because it's only 3 waves up? It's possible, but unlikely. So I think you're going to get a reaction here. So I think if you look at this count, we had a little bit of a reaction there. It failed, so made an A, B. I think you need one more low. So we're looking for 34.60. Now, chart support. Looks like you have a lot of chart support. You start to get more chart support at 32. A little bit. These wicks start to, come into play. But the real beef, massive support is probably right around that area right there. So that's pretty low, right? That's 28. So I don't think it's going to go that low. My guess is right around here. 32 maybe. So somewhere in this area. Somewhere in that area. And then we could see 5 and then another pullback. And then a rip higher. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Okay? Something like that. Yeah, so I think to re-enter, that box is where you want to re-enter. And yeah, and I may give that one a shot too. I may give it a shot because I think the personality of this, like that was a pretty explosive reaction. I think you'll get some kind of explosion like that too. And it's in that space sector, right? Space. So I think that's pretty bullish overall. Right now it's kind of a theme that's in vogue. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. All right. Circle. Yeah, I was looking at Circle the other day, and I thought it was close to a box. Yeah, it's in a box, yeah. So Circle's showing 5 waves off the IPO low and 3 waves down. So my guess is that's probably the low at 108, and it's building off of that cycle. Looks like you have a W3, W3, and 3. So my guess is that's the low. So if that's the low, it should hold, and we should get at least another cycle higher, or a connector wave. My guess is the next cycle higher started, and investors are unaware. Once we make that 5th wave, I think that would confirm the lows in. So we don't have 5 yet, right? Let's take a look at that count. Yeah, see, we need one more push higher. One more push higher. If not, it could still go push, but you can see the cycle's pretty much reset. So to me, this low has to hold. 107. So I'll be looking for something like this, and then a pullback, and then out. So perhaps that pullback is what you really want at 121, or it's a 1-2-1-2, and you just bust out of that. Okay. Next is NMAX, Newsmax. Oh yeah, that was a pump one, IPO pump. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, it looks like, what a mess. So you got to look at that pathetic connector. You got a little bit of a reaction, but not much. Did it break the lows already? Yeah, it's already did. There may not be enough data to chart this properly, but we'll do our best. You made a lower low. That's your connector, more than likely. See, we don't have enough data. So we don't have enough. You can't really use my system to trade this, but I'll try to do my best. But basically, I have some kind of maybe we'll call that a B. Maybe we'll do it like this. A. No, that won't work. It's got to be this then. Y. Something like that. And then that's got to be 5 wave down. 5 waves down. And another 5 waves. So you need like another 5 waves down. It's obviously breaking that low is like the death knell, right? But it should make another 5 waves down. So you're gonna have to just count the waves as it goes down, and then try to time it. I probably wouldn't bother with this, right? But if you want to try to trade it, you can wait. Now this can morph into other accounts, but I wouldn't really entertain it. I mean, this, it could, like I said, but it could hit, maybe $5, $6 when it's all said and done. All right, Christina, thanks for being a member. I really appreciate it. And thanks for, it's learning and a lot of information, I know. So swing holds for gold and silver. We covered a few today. Now I know, like our elite members, we do cover these instruments. So for people, I'd like to show you what we do here. If I can find our instruments. Sorry, there. So our elite group covers hundreds of symbols. I won't count them all, but we have a group for gold, and we monitor this basket, and we also monitor this silver basket. So, like, I'll just give everyone one here. Like, we've been watching AG as a silver miner, okay? Silver miner, and we watch it, and again, we had buys here, and here, right? Different opportunities. It's working out. But like if you're trying to like play a bounce on it, our video this weekend showed this setup. But if this is a connector, you could get a little bit more downside to 1046 or maybe even 1034 and try to play this fifth wave to $11 or beyond as an opportunity. Now this could be done and truncated, but maybe it isn't. So you could just look at any one of these and do the same thing and look for that third wave, like that three-wave nature. None of the others come to mind. I mean, we can look at a few to see if anything else, but you can kind of see like MUX here is in a 4. So maybe it could double correct. So you can just kind of take these and just kind of double correct. So there's one at 13. Potentially if it dips down to 13, 1278. AEM potentially here, 149, 148. It's a bigger cap, not a small one. And then ones I've already covered, right? So there's a lot out here. So it's like gold and silver are in 4s and 5s. So we're looking at kind of scalping. If they accelerate and go higher, that's just bonus time. So the expectation would be like playing small scalps if you're just joining the trend now. If you join the trend back here, like in AEM, we had to buy on our elite membership down at 102. And then again here and here. You're probably better off just holding. But if you're trying to, you're at the end of the cycle. All right, that's all I want to say on that. Let's go to the next set of stocks real quick. MYO. All right. MYO. Let's take a look. So looking for that fifth wave, we finally got it. Now you would want to look for bullish divergence in the shorter time frames. You're not seeing that yet in this leg. You're seeing 3. You're seeing a little bit on the 4-hour. Let's go to the 15-minute. Not yet. So I think you're in the 3 of 5 of this leg. So if again, trying to pinpoint an entry is always really difficult. So where we are is probably pretty close to the end. All right. So we're close. All right, that's MYO. Archer, if it has a double correction, we'd be looking for. I'm sorry, that's not it. Archer is looking for this double correction here. So we have 5 waves down. You know, we're looking at this. I wonder if we're in a different type of consolidation here. Let's just kind of clean this up so we get a better view of it. 5 up. 5 up here. All right, just kind of looking at things here. So 1, 2. It has to be that. Yeah, and then there's your box. See, if you look at that though, we haven't broken the trend line. So either we're going to go deeper in the box down to this wave 4 area down to 635, or 5 is going to extend. So if we bounce here, 5 is extended like that. If we don't and go lower, then 5 is in and you have a 2. So I just don't know what the market's going to do. It's going to be up to the market to decide. But I think ultimately it goes higher. Just remember though, if it is correct in this whole cycle, we're likely to go deeper in the box. This leg is done. So as long as it can hold 817, 5 is in. So I think we'll just label it this way. Label it like that for now. Okay, Oscar. Two, 3 waves, 3 waves. Looking like 3. Yeah, totally the middle area. I mean, this is still in play, this box. Let's take another look at the connector wave. So it could easily do this and then drop from here. But if we can take back out 23, then I think the odds are good that it's done. But we're only moving in 3. So I think this is a really ugly chart in this middle area. Actually got a little bit of divergence there. Yeah, maybe we're just not looking at it right. Maybe this is the count. I think it just was hard to see that 2 wave. Because that's what's supported here. Let's see, you only have 3 up here. So yeah, actually we probably will do this. And then this is a flat, you would think. Yeah, that's what it was. 1, 2, and then you come out. This is a flat. And then 1, 2, 1, 2. Grinding higher. Right. So yeah, I think it's in the next leg higher, but you know, as you know, it's not going to be a straight line up, but at some point we'll be breaking out. We'll be breaking out of that soon enough. NVTS, NVTS. It's in the box. One, two. Yeah, so it's got to hold this low. So we either start at the next wave higher. We do have a higher high, so odds are it will come out. So I would say we need to hold 543. If we can't, then see we'll take another leg lower, and then you're talking maybe a gap fill. So this is important to hold this level, but it's really early off the low. Let's see if we can get that 5, and if you can, then it's more and more likely that low is in. But it seems like to me we're going to hit these higher targets at some point. All right. All right, LAES. Looks like this chart's playing out as according to plan. Now this could be the B. If this is the case, it's just going to essentially go vertical. It seems unlikely, right? So I think we'll label it like this for now. Get something like that. And then you'll get something like this. So I'd be looking for this. I mean, it's really tough because you're in the 3 of 3 right now. I mean, we don't know. It could gap up on Monday and have a huge gap up. So I just don't know. Who knows? Well, no, I think though this is still the likely path, just like we have it here. Okay, there's no change. It's acting the way we would have expected it to. Newegg. Yeah, Newegg is one when we started our channel. I just said to buy it, right? And looks like we did finish this 5 up. Now you see that big pullback? That's a corrective move, 1, 2, 3. So that's something we're going to need to look at closer. Yeah, I think probably just didn't have. It's just a massive extended 5th wave. It's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense. And then you lost most of the 5, and now the correction's over. I think it's going to extend. My suspicion is it's going to extend. Now it doesn't have to, because it's C, and C can end at 5. But as long as you're above this level, this low, I would expect more upside. So I'd be trading off of this low, and almost broke that high too. So my guess is it's going to go higher from here. And this was like a major low. Because if this low breaks, then it's going to be a complete round trip, right? A complete round trip all the way back down, or hell, it may even break the low. And then TNA is really up to it's really up to the Russell Index, right? Either the Russell Index is going to have a huge breakout or it won't. Okay. Now, you see the lower low? It's whipsawing. TNA is whipsawing. This is whipsawing. The TNA is whipsawing here. Let's see if I can find it. See what it's doing? But that, whoops, wrong. I grabbed the wrong one here. But that C leg can go as high as it wants to, because it's probably correcting the whole thing here. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, when I look at this, again, I'm just 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 down, 5 up again, right? And then let's see if we erase divergence on that and truncate it. And that's what it did. You see that? So it did the 3-wave move, and it respected the low. Very technical. So yeah, 1, 2. We're not surprised. I mean, you saw, if you listen to my Russell Forecast Basic members, you're not surprised. There you go. So any pullback in 3 waves is a buy against this low. Wow, it went down to $18. Damn, that thing's really moving. Thing's really moving. Where can it get to? Yeah, man, April was the time to buy this thing. Well, anyway, so we're looking for more upside. AAOI. Playing out as expected. The buy was hit perfectly. 5 waves, 3 down. This could be a connector. So you need to be careful. We could see it drop to 1625. I think you need to be careful. I'll draw the box here in case it goes down here. We won't know if it needs to. It needs more upside. This looks like 3 and 3, so it's corrective until you take out 2814. So it's looks like we're going to take it out though. I mean, that's what it looks like to me, but we'll wait and see what happens on Monday. Right, and then a pull back and out. Airbnb, I was looking at that earlier. I don't recommend trading it. I actually don't have a good update on it. It's got a really strange looking count, and I wouldn't recommend buying it because you have 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. I was thinking we'll get 3 up out of this box, but it's not looking like that anymore. When I look at this wave, I look at this wave. I mean, maybe I'd be a little worried. It's got to stay above a 117. And if you're just playing for a reaction to maybe 155. It's really just a trader's stock. It's not other than that. So I still think you could play for the upside as long as you're above this low. But on the bigger picture, this could be a big connector wave that will break lower and break this low and then finish the correction. It just is to me, it looks very erratic and not impulsive at all. But it's tradable. So I think you have a trade here. For upside, I think it's still valid. I think it's still a valid trade. And then maybe you'll get rejected at 148, a massive rejection, or you break out in a bigger 3-wave move, which is the idea. So that's where we'd be looking for. So you want to see this dip finding support and not breaching this 117.07. Indo is ready to break out at any moment. If it's ready to break out, but there's no guarantee, right? It's just, if this is the count, and we did truncate here, the box on Indo is at 278, and then a nice little pump. So that's what we're looking for. If we break 267, C is extending down, another swing, and as long as you're above 211, the bull case is still intact. So Indo's a pretty straightforward count. MPW is another REIT, and REITs are bullish. This is what I'm talking about, guys. See, no one's in REITs. Who's buying REITs? No, everyone's buying Nvidia and Tesla and all that. No one's buying REITs. But REITs is coming off of a low since 2021. So it's in 3 of 3 land. Right, so I can't even label this because it's in 3 of 3 land. It could just keep extending. So we expect it to go higher. I can't even, I'm trying to draw it the way I think, but this is coming up here. This is like not even the first inning. Okay? Not even the first. So there's not even, to me, this is a long-term investment opportunity. You just buy it and tuck it away. I wouldn't even think of trading this, honestly, unless you're just, you're in. But there it is. This is it. This is the count. So something like this, pull back. Everything's happening according to plan. And I think NVAX broke down, right? So I think that's a go to zero now. I think NVAX is a go to zero, or let's see. Oh, still say it. We're still above 723. So if it can make this 5th wave, the market will save it, just like I have it here. And of course, you'll rug pull that whole thing and go. If we break down, it's a corrective move. You're likely to break 498, and it's going to be go to zero. So this is super important level. So right now, I think we'll just keep labeling it bullish until proven otherwise. Looks like an impulse off the lows, so maybe things are going to work out. Maybe things are going to work out for this company. So there you go, something like that, and hopefully we break out. So I would still stay long as you're above 721. Teladoc's one that's been also broken lows, broken down, but it could benefit from the Russell moving higher. So we're looking for we're in a B wave, and one more leg down in C. We have the lower low. It looks like 5 waves down, so I don't think it's going to whipsaw. I think you're susceptible to something like this. Let's see here. No, that's not labeled right. So we have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'll be 3, 4, 5. Then 1, 2. So I think it's got some more downside coming. This is probably a head and shoulders continuation pattern lower. As long as it's below this level, the bears are in control of the market for now. And I still think it's got another leg lower. And this bounce corrected the whole decline and it failed. So it's got it's in a death spiral. I don't know why. What fundamentally, I'm not sure why, but it is what it is, and it got rejected here on this line, which is the previous IPO low. So this is, yeah. Remember, when you trade below the IPO lows, that's how stocks like Fisker and all them went to zero and went bankrupt. Okay, that's how it all started. Someone asked me about Fisker. I remember when I started my channel, Fisker broke its IPO low. I gave the same update I'm giving now, like in Teladoc, and I said it could go to zero. Fisker isn't trading anymore. That guy lost all his money because he didn't believe me. He thought I was stupid. He told me it was the dumbest, and he thought I didn't give him happy talk. And so I'm telling you now, Teladoc could go to zero, bankrupt. I don't know why. Maybe there's something wrong with their business model. I don't know. But it needs to, I think it's in danger. It needs to come back above this low, but more importantly, even this high. So I wouldn't be messing with this anymore. That's why I don't cover it anymore. Okay. Let's take a look here. Riot is could be in the mania phase, so I don't really want to give a target because it could just keep going higher. But I'll try to give you my best guess of where I think it's going. And Riot was one we've been buying and been telling people to buy, not Mara, and that's been proven to be the right call. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh yeah, we'll just do it. Let's go back. What was I doing here? Yeah, Riot here. It's breaking out of the downtrend. I mean, we're just getting started. I mean, I would target this. I would target $45. That'd be my target. Once you break $20, you're going for 45 would be the area. You should get a big pullback. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there'll be smaller pullbacks along the way, but the downtrend's over. Right, this is why we were buying it. This is why I was telling everyone to buy it. I mean, we even had to buy down here a long time ago, but we are into the fifth wave, so we could see another pullback, right? So and again, we're going to keep grinding higher, Take it. Well, you have to take profit on where you decide to take. Right, that's your decision, right? I'm not going to decide that for you. I'm just telling you. I always trade on bigger cycles. I don't trade the shorter cycle. So if I was in Riot here and I bought it down in this area, I would be holding it all the way up to these levels, and then I'd probably be thinking to dump in it here once I got the first pullback and saw the trend was over. And then if we were in here, I'd make the market take me out. But however you want to do it. I mean, here it looks like it will end. This cycle could end at 18. It does look like that. It could end at 18 with another pullback. So I think that is something to think about. But I don't like timing the market and buying back in, especially a stock breaking into a wave 3 on its larger degree cycle, because those typically never let you buy back in the market. If you're breaking out into a wave 3, right, remember, this is like a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. So your chances of being able to time the market and get in on a 3 of 3 are almost impossible. Now, if it was the first wave off the low, off the grand end, yeah, you probably could do that, I think. But off of a third wave on a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 setup, the market typically doesn't give you a chance to buy in unless you're like glued to your screen, and even then, it's tough. So that's my thoughts on it. So I do think, though, 18 is probably the area where it should end this cycle and pull back down, maybe back down to 1466, somewhere around there. Thanks again for the super chat, man. RXRX may be another like Teladoc, where you just, once you break those IPO lows, you just gotta walk away from it. You have to just tell your body and mind, get away, go away, because it's in massive danger. So yeah, I think this broke those lows here. Now I was showing a whipsaw potential, and that is still the case. So there is a whipsaw play. It's a trader's play. The whipsaw back up to 18. As long as you're above that low at 378, you're only showing 3 waves, so it's not certain. So it's looking likely it's going to break down. But you did get a reaction from this box, so I think it's 50-50 if we're going to get this. If we're going to get this and come out, or like I showed before, get rid of that. No whipsaw. You had a pathetic bounce to correct that whole cycle. A pathetic bounce. And now you're about to have a catastrophe for investors. A catastrophe. And this could be this too, right? And then it could be another one too. But obviously, yeah, you get the idea. So I think that's the important level. If you hold that level, you could get the whipsaw and get a nice little trade out of this. But I'm not interested in covering it with the lower low sequence anymore. But this was a whipsaw play. I think that was an update I gave, and it looked like you did react. But it's starting to look like the reaction is going to fail. It's going to fail. So you need to be really, really careful. You have to be really careful in it, okay? So that's that here. All right, and then Tesla's breaking out and going into its wave 3 mode, right? So dips are viable in 3 waves. That came out of the consolidation. The bears lost control. The bulls will gain control. Nothing's, there should be pullbacks along the way. We have 5 waves up. So the next 3-wave pullback is a viable dip, and should continue to grind higher and higher and higher and higher. So that's what I see in Tesla's future. If you're hoping for some big crash, I doubt it's going to happen now. I think it's just it's going to go into berserk mode soon, if not already. I would be looking for 3-wave pullbacks to join the trend and hold if you are long earlier. And if Bitcoin starts to run hot, that's only going to help Tesla. So we're going to keep going higher for now, okay? But if you get a big pullback, I mean, that's a gift. That's a gift. EOSE is breaking out, and I've been covering that for elite members. And I think everyone's pretty happy with this outcome here. And again, we have 5 waves up, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, back testing the breakout. The day that we broke out on Friday, that evening, I gave the update. I showed that this was likely to break out given this count, and sure enough, we went up from 675 to 14% in one day. So this chart's playing out. This has plenty of upside. I mean, plenty of upside, and I mean, this could go easily to 21 or break these highs. Not interested in selling it. Okay, get a dip in 3 waves, take it. It will go straight up, maybe, probably not. So we'll just have to let this play out. And this one I cover and I look at. If we see a 3-wave move, we try to go in. We did have this entry here. We were trying to get in down here at 575, but it truncated, which is what we see before wave 3s now. We're starting to see these truncations more and more now in the market. EPD. What is this one? So we got the reaction here, and now it's consolidating in a series of 1s and 2s. So this probably has another big breakout about to happen. Let's take a look. So that was a good buy right here. Yeah, I don't think that's a 3. I think it's another 1-2 here. And then this is probably a 1-2 right to there. So maybe you have a dip buy here, potentially, on this leg. So right about 31.17, 30.96. Something like that. Yeah, that's how I would do it. Doesn't have to do that, but that's what I would go with. Okay. All right, that's an easy one. IXHL. Some kind of healthcare play. Hit in a box, starting to react. So looks like that 2 is in. And we only have 3 up. So like I mentioned before, you only have 3 and 3. So if you come back and break this low at 34, it's likely to break this low and go to 0. Like literally a go to 0. So for right now, I think we label it like this. Let's look at the RSI. It's right on the trend line, as you can see. So it's right there. So it's got to bounce like tomorrow. If it's going to be 5 waves, we need to see that move tomorrow to the upside. And then hopefully see it build out of this pattern. If we don't do that and we start to melt down tomorrow, it's toast. It's gone. It's gone. It's going to the 0. No more bounce. This was corrective, and it's a pump and dump. It's gone. But if this can build out of 5, it's going to keep running. Okay, it's going to keep running. Okay. Amazon is about to have a massive breakout, guys. But everyone sees this pattern now, and it's just so the market makers are just going to rug pull people until they give up. So we're in this flat, likely to see it come back to 211, I think. But I'm looking for a big breakout in Amazon here in this cup and handle, and we should break out of this pattern. Bigger picture, you've already made a higher high in a 1-2-1-2, 1-2, likely to see 350, 60 or higher in the future. So it tried to break out last week. It failed because I think it's going into a flat here. If once we come back and we can take back out 240, it's gone. So I don't know if it's got a news event or it's going to drop news. It looks like a flat to me, so I'd be careful for this pullback here. Okay. Apple is also pulling back. Looks like pre-orders were doing okay. So maybe that 2 is in. So that 2 may be in. If it double corrects, you can buy it at 215. If not, the 2 is in, and it's going to go into 3 of 3 mode next week. And it looked like the pre-orders did pretty good, so I wouldn't be surprised if if it truncates here. We are at the wave 4, so it may not double correct. So we're looking for obviously a big move higher soon. Either you get a little bit of a double correction, or you're going to get this move in 3, ultimately up to 300 or even higher. ServiceNow is kind of having issues because software is just not in favor. This is our chart. We've been going with it. The buy's at 546. It's correcting the grand super cycle. We have 5 waves down, 3 up, and I would be looking for more downside. Now, if you can come back and take out 1055, it changes the count. Okay, it changes the counts for me. Okay, but it's got to do that. It's got to come back and take that level out. Let's look at the shorter time frame. Yeah, I mean, it could be a little bit of an impulse, but you also have 5 up here. So, it's tough. Maybe it's a flat. Maybe we're in. Maybe it's this. And then this was an ABC. I think that's what we're going to have to do. A, B, C, and now we're in Y. So yeah, I think it's going to do that. That would raise our target, by the way. That would raise our target, so we'll get rid of the box. So I think it's in a connector wave. And I think it's moving to the upside. I think it's going to do something like this. And draw it out, something like that. So yeah, so I think it's a trade into the upside. So if you want to try to buy the trend, you can play that trend and try to trade that. If you can get a 3-wave pullback, it looks like this 5-wave move should be ending soon. And you should get a dip. You should get a dip soon against this low. All right. NVIDIA's got more upside. So again, I cover all these stocks in our pro group as well. So pretty much on most of these, not all of them, but most of them. So NVIDIA could have a dip by here, 173. Looking at a flat that ended here, 5 waves up, 2 back, looking for more upside. NVIDIA is in a new cycle higher on the grand super cycle. Should see $300 before its next major peak. And then AMD is also pulling back, not as bullish as NVIDIA. AMD is corrected from the April lows. It peaked. It's down in 3. It's up in 3. It's in a connector. It could double correct higher up to 176. That would pull this target up to like 136, 140, or the connector's in and it will have a meltdown here and buy at 126. So we only sold 3 up. That's why we're showing this. If it was 5, it would be different. I would call the low in, but it's not. So I think we're in a connector wave. So I think it's going to take another leg lower, but you obviously have 5 waves off the low. And so we should, whatever happens, we should go higher. It should eventually try to take out the all-time high. All right, that's easy. AMD's simple there. PAL is starting a new bull market, and that is, again, long-term investment opportunity. Right, we had a box here for months, some even years, and we're just starting to come out. I think we're in 5, and then we'll top, we'll pull back in 2, and then we'll keep. So it's not like quick money, but it's nice long-term investment money, and we're seeing that just grind higher. Right? Seeing it grind higher. So we're going to see, again, now this is definitely a candidate for erasing divergence and extending because it's so beat down. This could be a 1-2-1-2 and we just jump to this 200 area. So I don't like to sell it. Again, down here was long-term investment opportunity to buy it. It could have been corrective. Now it still could be. That's the thing. We only show 3 up. So there is a possibility for the double correction back down, back down to here. But it's looking unlikely. Highly unlikely. But not impossible. So, but once we take that peak out, then you know the low's in. UAA is Under Armour. Yeah, I was looking at that for bottom fish play. I think it finally is hitting our box. And we have 5. There's your 3, 4. So it could end at any second. Any second, any minute. You know, all these small stocks oversold, the GoPros and stuff, they're all squeezing higher. So this one just should do the same thing soon. It could be a major low, though. Maybe it's a major low for these guys. I don't know. But I think it's got a reaction coming. Let's look at the chart. Does it have any chart support? Yeah, a little bit here. 452, 462. Yeah, so this is the area. It looks like, to me, you know, either 4 is like that or here. So yeah, it's Bullish divergence. Bullish divergence. Higher time frames. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. Now see, I don't like that at all on the higher time frame. So it's probably not a major low. It's a tradable bounce area, but I bet what this tells me, you know, it's kind of, I don't want to mislead you. I think it's a bounce area, but I wonder if we'll get something like this, and then it does something like that. So just it's a trade. I would just be looking at this as a tradable area, and then whatever happens, and you'll just have to decide how you want to manage it. Because with this on the higher time frame, you don't have any of this divergence array, so it means you haven't had capitulation. That needs to come all the way down. So that tells me it's either going to go deeper in the box, and then this is a 1-2, 1-2, and we don't know it yet. So yeah, I mean, looking at the RSI doesn't support the bottom here. So I even though the box is here, I mean, only if my count is off I think you got to be careful for the deeper pullback, a deeper pullback. So yeah, I would probably, looking at the RSI, avoid. I would wait to these deeper areas to get hit, even if it means missing a reaction. All right, Pepe is one we were watching a little bit here. Let's see, let me find it. There it is. Hit a box. It's kind of meandering around, but holding up. About to break out of the downtrend. So you did a double correction here. So we had a reaction, had a little reaction, double correct it. It's got to hold this low right here. And it looks like it's trying to break out. Trying to break out. So it looks like to me it's trying to break out here. But again, like most of crypto's in force, so there's no guarantee. Because if it's only corrective, we'll come back and break this low, and then we'll be doing a double correction, and then the connector would be here, A, B, C, and we would come back somewhere down to this area and probably still respect this low. So it's a tough call, but I think if you're trying to trade it, you're just going to have to like accumulate essentially in this area and play for this area in the future. And you just have to think of the bigger picture. But it's a shorter time frame, I don't see a setup, but this is what I think is going to happen, what I have here. Something like this. Okay. But we need to get that 5. If we don't get the 5, there's a chance this low can break, and like I said, it could double correct against this cycle. And then that would bring you back down to this area here, the 6,300, 400 area. But for now, we'll just label it this way. UNG, like I said, my system doesn't work well with natural gas. I'll just show you my chart, but it doesn't really work that well. You see, it got rejected, so it's about it. So if we don't, let me put it to you this way: if we break below 1156, there's going to be no whipsaw. B is in, and then it's just going to be a meltdown. And that aligns with our oil forecast, right? Oil going down into the low 50s. So I wouldn't really count on this. I think you need to be very careful. If you have your hopes up for a big pump, I'd be really careful, because my forecast for oil is lower. And usually natural gas follows oil. So you don't want to get caught in something like this. 1, 2, right? You don't want to get caught in that. But it seems like such a shallow bounce. So it seems like it should bounce more, but it isn't. Okay, yeah, I have to fix my trade in view screen. XRP. Already broke the downtrend. No divert. Like I said, crypto's all in wave 4s right now. Crypto's in wave 4s. You need that fifth wave to confirm the low. So I'm showing that, but we don't know. Like if it breaks the low, it's going to double correct into the box here. Okay. So, but it's looking good, but it's not all clear yet. We need the next 24 hours will be key. Okay. SBAT is made a lower low here. I still think it recovers, so it looks like some kind of double correction. A race and divergence there and there. So just a double correction. So we're just looking for a double correction. So again, as long as this low holds, I still think we go higher. Okay, I still think we go higher, at least one more swing. Then after that, it's going to be really tough because it could be corrective still. So it looks like it did a double correction. Yeah, it was in the target area right there. It literally hit the target to the penny. So double corrected the way I would have expected it to. So that's all it did. My guess it's starting the next leg higher. Serve. And it looks like that two's in. It's starting its next leg higher. Yeah, looking at it, yeah, that's the, so now it could still be a flat on the higher time frame, 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then drop back down. But if you're scared of flats, you'll never buy anything. So I think you just have to play this out. If it's a flat, that's an opportunity to go long. But I think it's pushing higher in the next cycle higher. This is in a bull market, obviously. All right, Lily is broke. I think Lily's in that final leg higher on its grand super cycle. I think Lily is started its next leg higher. Got one more high on the grand super cycle to go. And then another big meltdown. So yeah, so it looks like Lily should be going into a 3 of 3 on wave 5 at any moment. You made a higher high already. So it's breaking out of the downtrend. It's already, I think it's already broken out of the downtrend. Yeah, see the weekly cycle is about to break out. So Lily's bullish. See, it's just breaking out. So Lily's bullish. All right. RR. W. X. And then 3, 3, 3. Again, it's in the middle area. I wouldn't recommend doing anything with it, but if you have a strong desire to trade it, either X is here or you get a double correction and you can try to buy it for that Y. I still think it goes higher, but you can't rule out another swing down in X back down to 193. So this could be the box right in this area there at 193. But there's no telling. Like it could already be over. But we're looking for more upside. That's pretty simple. LDI. Loan Depot. Made a lower low. We hate that. It whipsawed up. It's probably not finished yet. It's probably not finished yet. And it will need to make 5 waves up. Yeah, it's probably got a 4 and a 5 it's missing. So we probably have a little bit more upside left, but some kind of 4 and 5. And then C is in danger of ending. Now the thing is, C can extend further. So once this pulls back, it can either pull back and break these lows and finish its cycle lower, or it can extend C, and there's really no way to know. There's really, but I do think it's still got more upside coming. And maybe there's a dip buy here in 4, if that's the connector. Somewhere around 380, 367. And then you can get that last wave higher. You should get some bearish divergence as this tops on the shorter time frames. Okay, and this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So be looking for that. All right, BTF. So BTF looking like it made a higher high, higher high, higher high. So it looks very bullish. 3, 5, 3. So it's a 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For another 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. Maybe get another 1, 2. And come out. Well, let's look at that wave real quick. Yeah, so we'll go with that. Very bullish. But yeah, may top have some resistance here. PSKY. Not a lot of data here. As long as you're above this low, the bull market's intact. Let's look at the divergences. Oops. Yeah, so you have bearish divergence. So you need to be really careful. This could be ready to peak at any moment. Now, if you can erase divergence, if you can take that peak out, that would make this a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It will extend more. It's real tough to pin, you know, it could end at any moment. And then it will pull back down to this level and go, and it should make another leg higher. Even after that, it should go higher. So I'd be looking for something like that. But divergence can easily be erased. And yeah, the divergence here, I mean, here, see on the 45 minute, you have bearish divergence. So this is a 5, but it looks like a 3 of 5, but then you even see a little bit there. So that's a 5, this discount is the way it should be labeled. Like bid F. You can see here, your peak RSI is here, and then you're accelerating higher. 1. So I look at this, and again, you don't have enough data to do these properly. And then this one you don't have any divergence, and this one you do. This one you want to erase divergence. So the charts that have very little trade-in data, you can't use the RSI. It won't work. There's not enough data to do it properly, so you're kind of flying blind a little bit. That's why I don't really trade IPOs that much, or I don't really cover them a lot. Holo. Yeah, Holo. Kind of trying to find a base here, coming out of the downtrend, right? Downtrend, and now it's basing out. Undergoing some kind of accumulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for another 1, 2. That's the middle area, so I won't label that. We don't have any divergence there. So I do see, like, let's go to the shorter time frame. Oh yeah, no divergence there, so that's not impulsive either. So we only have, we're in this middle area. But what I'd like is we've come out of the downtrend. We came out in 5 waves. We came back down and we respected the low. I don't know how to label this. I mean, this is a mess. I mean, I could label, I think the right way to label it, maybe you can label it like this, and this is just a big flat in the making. So I think the best way to trade it is don't worry about the counter label. Just know as long as you're above 426, it can extend higher. So you just basically you have to just trade it long above that low, and look at, and you just kind of have to ask yourself what is happening here. Well, what's happening here is you had a major downtrend, you broke out, you in 5 waves, and you pulled back, you held the low, and now you're basing. You're not going down anymore. So that's probably some kind of accumulation for a bigger move higher like I have here. When is it going to happen? I have no idea. Would I be surprised it does a Newegg? No. When? I don't know when. I wish I did. I just don't know. And I think this, as long as that low can hold, just let this develop. The count, too many possible counts. And but I think that's the way to trade this, is long above that this low here. If not, then it becomes invalidated. RGC. Looks like our chart got messed up on that. Looks like we had a big pump and a crash. So there's our big pump and there's our crash in Y. So I suspect it's got another leg lower. 1, 2, 3, a connector. But the connector held. Oh, it actually made 5 waves off the low. So this is a good low. So we're going to hold this low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's hard to see, but you can get the idea. There's 5 waves here. Right, there's 5 waves. So now it needs to just correct that cycle. There's a connector. And there's your accumulation zone. Right there. And every time it taps it, you notice it bounces. It's more than likely finished right there. And it's going higher. And there's your capitulation, your erasure divergence. So yeah, so this is probably some kind of 1, 2. You're coming out. And this is some kind of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you're coming out. So this is turning higher. As long as you're above this 1199, it should be good to go. Breaking that low would negate this bullish setup. But it's definitely got a bullish setup to it. It could easily take out this peak in the future. I don't know if it'll go that vertical, but might, maybe. So let's see, MDB. Looks like that 2 is in, starting its grand super cycle 3. So we had a big double correction, and now it's in wave 3, and that's probably finishing up 1, 2, 3 is probably done. You get a 4 and a 5 and a pullback, right? And then you should get a pullback and more upside. But that, again, this major low's in 1, 2. It may still be in 3. Yeah, it's tough. It may have another swing higher in 3. 3 could be done, but you get the idea. It should be topping out, pulling back, resetting the 4-hour and daily cycle, and then another big move higher. As long as you're above this low. I skipped over one, lift. Okay, I'll look at that. It's one we haven't looked at in a long time, I don't think. I had a box here when this 4-wave. Yeah, this looks classic 4-wave style triangle. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it's in some kind of triangle here. Yeah, so Still looking for that fifth wave. I mean, I definitely wouldn't be chasing it here. Now, I think looking at this, it's probably going to do a double in 4. I don't think it's a triangle. I think it's 5 up here. And maybe B's in a triangle. A, B, C, D, E, B, and C. So I think it's like that. So it could get rejected right at like 2175. So this is an area where it could get rejected. And then you get that 5. One more low. So I think it's got more upside, but then this is a very dangerous area. If you can push through this and take out 30, then the count's off, right? Then the low's in. But I think that's where it's going. All right, and I think I covered everyone's question. I'll just kind of scroll back through the comments and end it tonight, guys. Here, I'll just kind of scroll back through all the comments and end it tonight. Again, I appreciate everyone joining and listening. Thanks again for following me. I really appreciate it. Again, here. And if for some reason I missed your comment, just DM me and I can answer it again, and I'll post it on the video. Well, yeah, I mean, bonds, I mean, you have to, guys, I always assume you have a basic understanding of the market. If you don't really understand it, if rates go up, the value of your bond goes down. So when I say bonds go down, but I'm showing the percentage go up, the value of your bond's going down. If you don't understand that, you can research. There's a lot of material online on that. But that's why it may not make sense. Like, why do you mean bonds going down, but you're showing, no, I'm saying when bonds go down, it's losing value. That means interest rate, the rates on the bonds are going higher. All right. Yeah, I think Wednesday is big. I think Paul could pull out a black swan or a white swan. The black swan is he doesn't raise rates. And he basically, gives Trump the middle finger. He won't lower rates. Gives Trump the middle finger, won't do it. The market's going to sell off hard. Or he can lower the rates as expected and then mention something about the back end of the curve. He has tools to lower, the long end. He's watching it, or he does something like that, and that will be a white swan. And the market will go crazy because they'll see that as a sign of new QE coming that no one expected. And he really should say something about the back end, the long end of the curve, because it's a problem that I don't think he can just punt to the government and say, you guys, it's your problem, figure it out. Because I think as an institution, they have the stability of the whole market and the system we work in. And if they just let that fall apart without any intervention, it's like letting the market fall apart in a crash like they did in the Great Depression. Or in 2009 when they intervened. So I think they got to intervene somehow, even if it's not popular. If they just say, nope, the government's problem to deal with, then the bond market is going to have a crash in the future, and they'll be blamed for it, some of it, I'm sure. So maybe he'll start hinting that they're watching that, or they have tools. That would be a white swan. The market, no one sees that coming. But I do sense there's some pressure that I think will start to build on the Fed on the long end of the curve to help do something to it, and maybe the next the Fed chief Trump appoints will deal with that. All right, well, I got to wrap it up, guys. It's getting late here. Thanks again for joining. I appreciate it. That's all I've got tonight, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. A big week. Yeah, Wednesday's going to be huge for the market. I agree. It's a pivotal moment for the market because it could start a whole new cycle of with the Fed, which is usually a very big inflection point that doesn't happen very often. All right, guys, that's all I've got.